Hey yo, it's Narv, and UFC 89 goes down this weekend. Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas, and I want to talk about all the fights on here on the main card. Really give you guys a breakdown in my betting odds. So let's get right into it. Up first, let's talk a little bit about this card. Is this card good? It's all right. No, it's not. It's really not. Mo Usman versus Mick Parkin is in the first fight of the event. Then we got some prospects. We got a lot of prospects on this card. Really, it's all right. But UFC, you can do better. I get it. UFC 300 is right around the corner, and you didn't have all the fights in the world. So let's break these down, though. Up first on the main card is Fernando Padilla, who is 15 and 5, 27 years old, versus Luis Pajelo, who is 29, 8 and 1. I mean, he's 29 years old. He's 8 and 1. That's his record. Uh, Fernando Padilla is the slight favorite at a minus 170, as Lewis is a plus 140. So in this one, I'm going to go with the favorite, Padilla. Um, there's a couple of things that worry me about Padilla. He's a little bit plotty. He kind of walks at the way he strikes, walks into his boxing. But he has good combos, good counters on the back foot. He's definitely not the most heavy pressure fighter in the UFC, but he does a solid job. He has a good jab. He has good combos. He loses balance a little bit in like the pocket, but overall, he does a good job and is pretty consistent. Uh, he's not the best at like cutting off the cage. Uh, he doesn't always see like right overhands over the top. But, like even though he has like a super high guard, he tends to get a lot of these big overhands landed directly on his chin. So I don't love that, but I'm gonna take Padilla. Lewis, he hasn't faced the highest level competition. He went against a very young 23-year-old Robbie Ring. Uh, he likes staying on the outside. He has a long stance with good leg kicks. He also has a very high guard. Uh, my main thing with him is he kind of goes into the pocket like a spaz. Like he just kind of runs into the pocket and he's willing to trade. Uh, but if Padilla gets taken down by Pajeo, who, as I said, he just pushes a pretty crazy pace. Um, but I don't know. I think that the counterboxing of Padilla is going to really be the main factor here. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. I have a lot of them. Uh, is going to be the big problem. Like him in the pocket, uh, getting countered. Padilla being 6'1" to Lewis's 5'10", he's going to have a lot more length in there. He's going to have a lot more room to be safe in there. And I think that's going to be the overwhelming consensus with this fight. So Padilla, I probably have him as a minus 200 or something. Um, Let's go. On to the next one. Billy Quarantillo versus Yusuf Zalal. In this one, I'm going to go with Billy Quarantillo. There are some things about Billy that I don't love, but I think he has really good wrestling. He's a bit slow. That's like the main thing with him that worries me. Um, Yusuf is low key like a karate stance. He keeps his hands super low, which might be good for the counter wrestling on Billy, who's gonna shoot for the legs once he gets cracked with something big, which I think he will. Um, and Yusuf also has good takedowns himself, so we might see some good scrambles. But I think Billy is such a dog in there. He's gonna be able to push the pace. He is 35. But Damon Blackshear was just kind of taking Zalal down at will low key. Um, I can see Billy doing that and just like overwhelming him over time. He had like decent scrambles, Alal did, like getting onto the back a couple of times, but he just doesn't have very good takedown defense, and that worries me against someone like Billy, who's going to constantly be shooting on him, and he's a solid wrestler. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Billy, but I could definitely see an upset. Just so you know, the odds on ESPN are minus 155 for Billy, plus 130 for Yusuf Zalal. Um, I'm probably gonna stay around that. I think that this is a very close fight, could go either way. But yeah, I'm gonna go Billy, maybe by ground and pound finish in the second round. Okay. And on to the next one, Cameron Simon versus Peyton Talbot. Now, these are two of my favorite prospects in MMA right now. They're both super young. Peyton Talbot is 25. Cameron Simon is he's 23. So, as I said, super young. These guys are both super interesting in their styles. Cameron kind of has, I mean, he trains with Dricus Duplessis at that camp. So, he kind of has a weird boxing style, weird rhythm to him. He has a crazy tank. He's always pushing. He has that 23-year-old energy. He's pushing the pace. I I don't know. I'm gonna take Cameron Simon. Peyton Talbot was getting taken down in the first two rounds. Yeah, he was able to get up, but I think Cameron's just better than the competition that Peyton Talbot faced. Um, and Peyton Talbot might be able to snipe him at range, stop the takedowns, and overwhelm him with his size. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Cameron Simon, the plus 130 underdog right now on ESPN, to Peyton Talbot's minus 155 on ESPN. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take the underdog. I basically am gonna make this. It's even money, if you ask me. Like, this is so close. Either one of them could win. I think I prefer Cameron Simon and his style to beat a guy like Peyton Talbot, though. Up next, Edmund Shabazian versus AJ Dobson. I don't. I'm gonna take it, Edmund Shabazian. I'm pretty certain about this. I don't really love a loss against Jacob Malkoun by decision. Um, I don't love an Armin Petrosian loss anymore, you know? Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go with Edmund. He's just beat the better guys. He starts super quick. He's a good wrestler. He trains with Ronda and that team, so he's got good throws. He's got crazy power in the beginning of his fights. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Edmund Shabazian. Let's go by first round finish. I think that Edmund is going to put it on AJ quick. As I said, Edmund is a fast starter, but if you get him into rounds 2 and 3, there definitely is a risk. Edmund is a minus 195 on ESPN, as AJ is a plus 155 on ESPN. I'll do like minus 150 for Edmund Shabazian and plus 110 for AJ Dobson. Close fight again. These are a lot of really close fights, so I think that's interesting. But let's go on to the next one. The next one is Justin Tafa versus Carl Williams. His brother, Justin's brother, just recently had to step up for Justin on short notice a couple of weeks ago, and that kind of worries me. Carl Williams is solid. He's 9-1, 34. I hate these old prospects, but it is heavyweight, so he will get a lot more time. He beat Chase Sherman. My main thing that's like worrying with Carl Williams is he does like go to a lot of decisions. Justin Tafa can definitely knock out Carl Williams at any point during this fight. He has a ton of power in his hands. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, knocking out Parker Porter is huge. Parker Porter, Piggy Porker, that's a good win. Losing to Jared Vandera is rough. Losing to Carlos Felipe is rough. And whatever he's recovering from is rough. So I'm going to go with Carl Williams. I just think he's better. At most places, this fight's going to go. Let's go by decision. Justin's tough. Um, on to the next one. On to the main event. Thug Rose! Thug Rose! Versus Amanda Ribas. Hey, Amanda, what's up, girl? Say swear, you know what I'm saying? Like, despite my wife being the one that I'm picking against, Amanda Ribas. What's up, girl? You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm taking Rose. I could see a lot of different ways Rose wins this. I just think she's better really everywhere. I haven't studied a lot of. I've watched so much Rose. I've watched so much Amanda Hebos. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But Rose, she's been on a bit of a downfall, which is kind of like annoying. You know, it's like, how do I pick you after your last couple performances? Um, It's also really hard for me. Like I was live at UFC uh Arizona, the Gaethje and Oliveira card. I was live at that event, and let me tell you, that was one of the worst parts of any event I've ever been to. It was so boring. The crowd was so uninspired. It's hard to see that live and then really trust in Rose to really step it up. But I just think Amanda just isn't the greatest of competition. Uh, she's had losses against like Caitlin Chukagian, Macy Barber, Marina Rodriguez, all decent competition, but I just don't like her style. She was losing against Pinero as well up until she threw a spinning wheel kick out of nowhere, and Panera just shut off like the Windows music, the Windows off music. So yeah, I'm gonna go Rose. Maybe like she gets head kicked or something. I could see it. Amanda's not the best in the pocket. Rose is so fast. She's coming from a more talented division as well. Um, so yeah, I'm going Rose. Anyway, uh, minus 220 is what I'd put on Rose. Plus 200 is what I would do for Amanda Hebos. But thank you guys so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.